Hi friends, Ryan here. It's a nice day today, and I have a connection challenge for you that's tied to, I want to share 4 ways to handle conflict in relationship. So we typically been talking about connecting in relationship, which is great, but part of relationship with other humans is there's going to be conflict, there's going to be disagreements, there's going to be things that unfold. It's part of the human experience. So I wanted to just share 4 ways that I found that have been helpful, and I got a few funny stories tied to that. And I just wanted to say that there's not, these aren't the only ways they handle conflict, and these ways might not work in every situation. I've been learning in life that there's no formula, there's no system, everyone's different, humans are different, and there's gonna be all different types of ways to handle all different types of situation, and it's not a one size fits all. So let's hop in. The first way to handle conflict, I believe, is timing. Sometimes timing is so important. Sometimes we just want to fix it right now. We want to get it done. We want to confront the person, or we just want to share what's bothering us. So I lived on my own for like 10 years, and then I got a roommate named Joe, and it was the first time he moved in about 3 years ago, and I was like, I don't know what it's gonna be like. I haven't lived alone or with someone for so long, so I'm kind of like, okay, I'm just open for whatever. I'm just gonna be laid back. And so I start waking up in the morning and I start choking. There was this horrible smell that I would like gag on, and I'm like, what is that smell? And what can he be possibly doing down there? And it turns out he was cooking these salmon patties, and they had the most raunchy smell ever. So I'm like, okay, if that's all that's gonna happen with us being roommates is some smelly salmon in the morning, I can deal with it. It's not that big of a deal in the whole realm of things. But it was kind of bothering me because I'd wake up gagging on this smelly salmon. So it was hilarious. So timing, this is where it comes into one. I waited, and sometimes we get all caught up in emotion and we just want to like fix it right away instead of waiting and kind of calming our emotions and kind of seeing what happens. So about a week later, after this is happening, this girl walks in that knows Joe, and she goes, Joe, what is that smell? And so I'm like, oh, this is my perfect opportunity. So I go downstairs, I'm like, yeah, Joe, what is that smell? And it was these salmon patties, and we both at the same time got to share that it was a pretty raunchy smell, and you could probably choke some animals with this smell. And so he agreed to not do salmon patties anymore in the house, and we had a lot of laughter and a lot of it's a funny story we're still laughing about. I'm still telling it about Joe and his salmon patties. And so the second way I believe it's helpful to handle conflict is laughter. So recently, I got another roommate named Dan, great guy, and I come home, same thing. There's this raunchy smell. It smelled like an animal died. I was choking when I walk in the house. I'm like, man, what's with my roommates and smelly stuff? And so I checked the trash, and he left old chicken, a bag of old chicken in the garbage. And I'm just like, really? Like, we know better that raunchy chicken cannot just stay in the trash inside. Like, I take out my shrimp every time I cook shrimp because it smells. So it's the same thing. Instead of just going in hot, I just waited, and at night Dan was sharing about how he doesn't like when people are upset with him. And so I just decided to start laughing. I'm like, damn, I'm not upset with you, but can you make sure you take your chicken outside when you're done with it? Smelly chicken doesn't go good. And he started dying laughing, and we laughed about it. And we spent the next 15 minutes talking about this other story. Laughter is such a diffuser of stuff, and he understood it. It made something that was, silly that was, wanted to talk to him about, but we made it fun. We made it laughter. We made it a good thing. So laughter is such a great way to handle conflict. Sometimes just make it a joke about it, laughing about it, but you still get to share what's on your heart. So the third way I believe it's helpful to handle conflict is when you're connected. when you're connected in relationship. Sometimes, you can be off with someone and disconnected, and sometimes bringing up conflict can just feel like you're nitpicking them. And I just like to have a really good conversation, and in the middle of that good conversation, just to share like, hey, this is what's going on. Like the person knows that we're like in good conversation. They know I love them, they love me, and it just kind of diffuses things to connect that way and talk things out. When you're connected, you're having a good conversation, you're having a good time, not just when someone right when they walk in the door from work or something else is going on. Just find a good time when you're like really connecting that way and sharing those conflicts. And then the fourth and final way, I believe, is making sure that you're not blaming the other person. It's real easy to just be like, you did this, you did this, you did this. And I found a thing that's worked for me is I say, hey, this is what's going on. This is what's affected me and my heart, and this is how I feel in this situation. This doesn't mean that you intentionally were doing this or trying to hurt me or do anything like that, but this is how it affected me. And so it's a way to not like put blame on them and blame others and just say it's all their fault, because it's not a lot of times all their fault. It's just our past triggers or our emotional response, but it does something that's bothering us. So we can share so the other person can maybe help us or be aware of that for the future. So those are the 4 ways that help handle conflict. The connection challenge this week is to see if there's a way that you can handle conflict in a different way. Maybe one of these ways might be helpful. Or if there's someone you need to resolve stuff with, just to resolve stuff. It's just not good to carry that. It's not good for you or the other person just to carry that. Because we're all going to have conflict. We're humans. This life's messy sometimes, or it is messy. And, it just might be a great way. So hopefully these were helpful. Just thought I'd hit a different angle of relationships and connecting, because when you connect in a relationship, there is going to be like bumping heads or challenges. So hopefully this works. If you want to subscribe to my channel, click subscribe. Hope you have a great week and live alive today, and go love some people, go connect with some people, go just continue to connect in relationship, and I hope it brings you joy. Have a great day, my friends.